Stay tuned. Today we'll be discussing in-home health.
TCT presents Public Report, a look at the issues and events of importance to our viewing area. Now, here's your host.
We're here today. My name is Nancy Spry. I'm your host, and we're here today with Gregory Brewer. He is from Right at Home. We're going to start out, Mr. Brewer, if you could tell us a little bit how you became involved, a little bit of background about how you became involved in this program.
Thank you, Nancy. Thanks for having me here today. Right at Home is an in-home care organization that provides care to seniors across the country and now actually across the world. We provide from 1 hour to 24 hours, 7 days per week. It allows people to remain at home and independent as long as possible. So we service them wherever they may live, whether it's a private home, apartment, or any other continuous care kind of community, such as assisted livings and so forth.
Okay. How long have you been with Right at Home?
Been a part of Right at Home since 2004.
2004. How did you come to be with them?
Well, that's an interesting story, Nancy. I used to work for a corporation and did a study there, 2,500 employees, asking them what kinds of services they wanted. And number one was time off. And if you were 40 and older, you wanted time off to take care of elder care issues, which is interesting. But then number two on the list was elder care in general. And then this company decided to downsize, and my job ended. And thank God I was able to research and find Right at Home. And my wife and I purchased the rights to this territory for the Piedmont Triad area. We had experience with giving care to my grandmother, who lived in a rural part of Virginia. She unfortunately had Alzheimer's, and it was just very difficult to provide her care. There was just no one there to do that. So we knew firsthand what it was like to struggle with providing adequate care to a loved one.
Right. How big a program is this? How many caregivers do you have?
We have over 100 in our particular organization that are active, several hundred that are in our database that could be called upon for services. And of course, there are thousands across the country with the other Right at Home organizations.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about this hospital to home program, if you will fill us in on how this works and how a person becomes involved.
Sure. It's not a popular thing yet, but it will become popular. We've had great success with it thus far. There's something called transitional care, and transitional care and care coordination in the home. We're partnering with the Forsyth Medical Center to help the frail elderly not be readmitted to the hospital unnecessarily so within 30 days. And what we do is provide them what we call the care on the ground. So in the home, we work with the patient to do basic life things, such as eating, helping them to get their groceries, what's called in the industry companion supportive care. But it's so critical to the elderly person to stay in their own home and not be readmitted to the hospital within 30 days. And to go back just a little bit, Forsyth Medical Center in Winston-Salem, 3 years ago, looked at the issue of the seniors being readmitted to the hospital or going into the emergency department unnecessarily. And they said there should be something that we can do to help people not utilize the emergency department unnecessarily. And so they asked us to become involved with brainstorming and working on a task force to help them reduce the utilization by the frail elderly in the emergency department. And that's kind of how it got started.
Okay. So there was a problem with the elderly going home from the hospital and then not being able to take care of themselves.
That's
and
correct.
winding up right back in the emergency room.
That is correct.
Okay. Any of us that have elderly parents or grandparents, I'm sure we can understand that. Is this program only available in North Carolina?
Well,
Or where in North Carolina would it be available?
Well, what's happened is this is a unique program, and it didn't exist in North Carolina and very few in the country. It's unique actually in the country in the way that we manage it here at Forsyth Hospital. It now has taken legs because of the healthcare changes. With the law has changed, and in March of 2012, hospitals will become severely penalized if not receiving reimbursement at all for the frail elderly who are Medicare recipients if they are readmitted within 30 days for the same diagnosis. Now, this didn't exist when we started the program, but a year after we begun the program, the laws changed, so it's fortuitous that this has really occurred. So now it's taken legs across the country because hospitals all over are looking for ways to help people not be readmitted within 30 days for the same diagnosis.
I see. Is this only for seniors, or is it for Medicare? Is it only for seniors?
This particular program started as a pilot because since there was no program like it, there was a partnership with Forsyth Medical Center and the Duke Foundation to take a look at how we could address these issues. And it was a 3-year grant given by both foundations, the Duke Foundation as well as the Novant Foundation, to look at the results of such an effort. And we're really proud of where it's gone.
I'm sure.
It's successful, and like I say, since the federal laws are changing in March of 2012, many other hospitals and healthcare organizations and communities in general are looking for such a program.